Okay, I'm moving. The last one down there, the last one is just fire protection. It's just a heads up, guys, with that you need to pay attention to fire code. So there's nothing in here that isn't already in the codes, but it just gives me a handout that I can say these are what the town has adopted. Please follow this plus our design standards.
Thank you.
So is this just a handout or is it actually going?
No, it'll be adopted as these are the policies of the town. And it was previously adopted a few years ago. Forrest, when was that? 3 years ago it was adopted, and then it was unadopted. So
So of course, you know, my eyes went right to fire protection required, and for brevity's sake and to just be simple, I would like to change that to before any building permit can be issued. The project must meet all Utah Fire Code and adopts with amendments the International Fire Code of 2018. So because there's so many codes within the Utah State Fire Code and the International Fire Code, I think just being simple, that any before any building permit is issued, it has to meet Utah State Fire Code and the International Fire Code.
great.
Any other thoughts on it?
No, I'm good with it.
All right, do we have a motion? I'll make the motion. I make a motion that we adopt the development and building policy with an amendment to the fire code fire protection required. Change that to before any building permit can be issued, the project must meet all Utah Fire Code and the International Fire Code of 2018 as adopted with amendments by the state of Utah. Motion, vote.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Who's second, bro? All right, we are on to item number 7. Confirmation of previously approved zone change for parcel 80-1378-Q, the Canaan Mountain Estates. So will you please walk us through this?
Sure. I want to reiterate that this is not a zone change we're asking for. This is simply a confirmation of a zone change that we believe that took place years ago in 2006, 2005, right after Apple Valley became a town. Canaan Mountain Estates Phase 1 got approved, zone change got built. Canaan Mountain Phase 2 got their zone change, I believe, but that's what we question because it right now it presently show that it's not, it's open space. And then they got a preliminary plat approved, and then they built part of the subdivision. They put in the power and the water, but in 2008 the market died, as you know, so they stopped construction in order and didn't go for a final plat because then their tax bill would have skyrocketed for years. So it makes sense what they did. So fast forward, and then in 2007 they went in and got their preliminary plat approved for Phase 2, and then they got, when in 2008 they asked for an extension, and we find in the records that took place. However, after 2 years you cannot extend a preliminary plat more than once according to our code and state code, so that's the end of it. Unfortunately, fast forward, this property was bought by someone else, and he was told that, hey, this has the zone change and you already got a preliminary plat and you're good to go. And I have to be the bad guy of presenting with, no, from what we could see, it neither had the zone change and definitely did not have a preliminary plat that was approved. So we, means Forrest, Keeney, did a lot of work researching all our minutes to find out, can we please find some evidence that at least it was zoned? Because it makes no sense that you start a phase 2, and don't have a zone change for it, even though it's could happen in Apple Valley in the past. And that's the reason why we can't just take it for given. It's not a given one. But what we found is in October of 2005, we found in the record, it says Merlin Webb, which was the property owner at the time, Kirk Webb, presented concept plan for phase 2 of Canaan Mountain Estates. There was a discussion of the egress. It is the second one for the subdivision, and they are working on turning lanes off the highway. Zoning would have to be changed, so we can see that didn't have the zone change at this time. Discussion of that process was presented. Motion to accept the basic concept of Canaan Mountain was made by Jessup. Lindquist seconded. The vote was 5 in favor. So we can see here that it was discussed in concept, which is not a preliminary plat, but that's just the concept. And they told them what to do. And then luckily we found in the next meeting on 11/17, there was a note, and it was very brief. It says, there was a recommendation from the Planning Commission for zoning change from OST to RE40, which is acre lots in in the language at the time, zoning, for Merlin Webb. Brown moved to accept recommendation, Hershey second, and the vote was 5-0 to approve the zone change. I wasn't comfortable with that I should say, well, this is definitely the zone change, because it doesn't mention the property. It doesn't say the tax ID. It doesn't mention, and Kirk Webb owned thousands of acres. So it could be anything. But my personal opinion is when you take these two combined, that the first month it talks about phase 2 of Canaan Mountain. The second month it talks about that they approved the zone change. Then my conclusion is that it's very likely that this is the zone change, and therefore their property should be marked on our maps as 1 acre lots at the zone that was approved at this point to match it. A zone change does not go away with time. So, but I wanted you to be the one that decided. You concur with me, and that will solidify this zone change. So they can move forward with preliminary plat and finish the subdivision or do the development that they wish.
Do they have drainage?
Good question. Luckily, those questions doesn't come up until the preliminary plat stage.
All right, so discussion. I mean, obviously based on the timing, October and then November, that supports.
So it mentions the planning commission recommended it.
We couldn't find those
You
notes.
could find this now. Okay.
So, but the one that really, if this was only notes from planning commission, then I would be hesitant to agree, because planning commission only recommends
To the council.
to the council. The council approves. But this shows that Mr. Webb did get his own change. Whatever property that was is in question, but I think combine the two, it makes sense to me that was it.
So are we approving that there was a zone change, or are we?
You're just ratifying that the zone change that we found did change that property at the time.
Okay.
So we're not creating a new zone change.
It's 1 acre.
It's 1 acre, yeah.
And how much land is it? 40?
57.
57.
59.
But that's
Subdivision.
in that phase 2.
Yeah.
Is that 57 acres?
59, I think.
Okay.
59.
Okay. But it's known as Canaan Mountain Estate Phase 2.
So are they, did they make the changes? Are you guys on the Wildcat area? Is that you on this map?
No.
No. They are Canaan Mountain Estates.
Oh, just an extension of what's already there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
If you ever drove in that subdivision and then you continue down the street, you'll be like,
Yeah,
there's a fire hydrant.
yeah.
There's, you know,
Yeah, all the
utilities
utilities are there.
most of them are there.
I tried to hook up to one, but there was no power.
Yeah.
But I can't.
You gotta go to the farthest. There is power. All their power is turned on.
Nice.
You know this, Adam?
All right.
Charging is strong.
Any other thoughts?
No.
So, were you shaking your head for us?
I just wanted to mention the 59-acre parcel was not in existence until 2017. I mean, the land was there, but it was not a separate parcel.
Right, but this-
divided it in 2017.
So,
We're just talking about phase 2 of Canaan Mountain Estates, though.
correct. Because that,
Whatever the size that is, we've got plans to
Correct.
back that up.
Yeah, I didn't go on because there's more attached property. So whatever that was, that's what we are agreeing that is zoned for 1 acre. And I was just told that a lot of their lots are actually larger than 1 acre. But you can always go bigger. We agreed to the 1 acre and they can go bigger, not a problem.
So I have a question. I don't sound stupid. So are we approving 11-17-05? There, I'm seeing
On
that.
the agenda?
Oh,
You succeeded, Kevin.
Thank
You
you.
succeeded.
It's only gonna get worse. Okay, so I will make a motion that we approve
That we
the zone,
confirm.
that we confirm the zone change for parcel AB 1378Q for the Canaan Mountain Estates on phase 2.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Vote.
Aye.
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 All right, item number 8, special event permit application for half marathon race with vacation races. So the reason why I wanted to discuss this is because they've had events over there already. Does everybody know where this property is?
Yes.
Okay, so they've had events there already. The event that they're proposing now is going to begin on March 20th and in March 21st. So it's an overnight. It's the 3rd annual. So they've done 2 of these. The 3rd annual Zion at Night half marathon. The event will have a continuous staggered start with a new group of up to 150 participants starting their race every half hour. The event begins at 6 p.m. on Friday, May 20th, running tonight until the final race starts at 7 a.m. on Saturday. So 6 p.m. Friday, final race 7 a.m. on Saturday. This race will take place on a mix of trails and dirt roads. It is a loop course which starts and finishes at the property at Apple Valley, the Ruber Rider Ranch. The course takes runners northwest to a trail on Gooseberry Mesa. Now that's not the different part because they've done this before. This is nothing new. The new thing is that they would like to request permission to offer camping to participants during the event. This has been pre-approved by Ruby Rider Ranch to do so. So in the past, when they have had events, of course, we've required them to have porta potties. And we've required them to clean up any debris and to remove the porta potties within 72 hours of the conclusion of the event. So that's all been agreed upon before, but they have never had camping before. I hesitated, I wanted to bring it to you because I think we need to talk through it is a one-night event, so it's not going to be like it's, a three-day thing. But are we even interested in opening up the door to allowing them?
I will have a few main concerns right off. First one is fire. Are they gonna allow to be
Well,
have campfires out there? Or?
if we're interested, we would set the parameters.
Okay, and the other few times that they've done it, they've hired a private contractor to come out and do the water. But whatever it wasn't enough. I drove out there to see what was going on that one Saturday, and those roads were just dry bone by 11 o'clock.
So watering the road.
So watering,
a lot of
yeah,
dust
so
in the
watering
air.
the roads, it's gotta
What's going
be
on?
2 or 3 times more at least than what they did the last couple of times. It wasn't enough.
Well, and do you recall how many days that event took place over? I know that they
It was
had
over
some
the
that were
weekend,
3.
yeah, it was either a 2 or 3 day. So the few times I went out there, the water truck was nowhere to be found, but
Mhm.
not saying that they weren't watering them down. It probably would have been a lot worse than what it was, but it was definitely.
Tell them if we get any dust complaints, they're not getting it again. Just kidding.
What other concerns would you have?
Is the camping only on
Well,
the ranch?
Yeah, it's there. They have a pretty big chunk and it's all red lava rocked in. But I would be concerned. I'd be willing to say no fires. Why would we want to take that chance on burning the town down? That kind of ruins the campfire thing, but
And they do cleanup, they ensure cleanup?
now are we getting a deposit? What are we charging them?
This is, we've never done this before.
48,000?
Well, no, they're permit. They have
Need
a
some money,
$500
apparently.
special event permit,
$500?
a $500 special event.
And what do we do as I'm sure we should get a deposit to make sure they do the cleanup.
So a cleanup deposit.
Yeah, I mean, it's refundable as long as they.
We should have never.
Their deal.
When is this event?
It is, begins at 6 p.m. on May 20th and the last race goes out at 7 a.m. on May 21st.
Are they crossing over at 59 again like they did last time?
Uh,
They had to block the freaking road off because they were having the marathon runners or bicyclists cross 59 on Main Street.
I don't think so.
And they had flaggers out there stopping traffic to let them run across the road.
The race will take place on a mix of trails and dirt roads.
I just have a comment about, what about zoning? Is there zone, what zoning are they? Is that use allowed in that zone? It's just my comment that I have as an administrator.
I couldn't find anything,
Okay.
I couldn't find anything that pertained to this, which is why I wanted to discuss it with everybody.
Do we have to make a decision tonight or can we?
No, we don't have to
Reach
have to
out
make
to
a
them.
decision. We don't have to make a decision tonight. If you want to think about it
Well, I think we need to write our concerns down and double check
and
with
take
them
them
and
to
then,
them.
yeah, take it to them and then come back.
All right, so we're not gonna make a decision. We're not gonna give them
No, I-
approval or denial at this point, but what issues? So no campfires, the watering of the roads.
Well, do we say no campfires or do we say the propane fire thing only?
No, no campfires.
I'm going with none.
No,
I know, that's what I said.
yeah, I mean, yeah, my initial reaction was, no, I don't wanna open that door to this.
That's my reaction.
Well, we can,
Coming from the firefighters.
we can pay the fire department a handsome price to be out there for that 24 hours.
Oh, are you volunteering?
No, they're gonna pay the fire department.
No, you volunteering to be out there.
I trip over a rock and hurt myself probably.
All right, do we even want to entertain this? No. I hear.
Where is this place that they're wanting to camp?
It's all the way down Main Street. If you go down towards the end, just before you turn into the church property there,
Yeah.
there's a huge, like, flat 5 or 6 acre lot that's all gravelled in and lava rock.
Where's the camp?
Camping elsewhere.
Well, they would have to camp on that parcel.
They park on that.
All right, so, I'm willing to just say, no, we don't want to start opening that door to camping. Do we want to say that, or do we want to have a discussion with them and explore this?
I like to know camping myself.
How many campers are we talking about?
They don't.
There, up to 150 participants start every half hour through the night.
150 participants and then they've got their support team and
Yeah.
so there's gonna be like 500.
That'd be 500
people.
people out there.
No, I just don't think it's a good precedent to set. I don't know if we want to start doing that.
Not the camping. Yeah, probably no camping, but I mean, you can do their event. We just have to make sure that they're taking care of the roads.
All right,
Buy some fire truck.
so do you want to say no to this?
Are we ready to say that, or do we want to have more discussion
I think
about
we
it?
should have a little more discussion first.
All right.
I think we
I'm
should
okay
table
with
it.
locking it out some more.
Let's reach out and have a meeting and.
All right, so we will, do we have a motion to table this item?
I make a motion that we table this application. What is it? It's for the,
Half
Vacation
marathon.
races.
for the vacation races. Oh, I got a paper right here. For the half marathon vacation races,
I'll
For
second that.
for camping.
for camping.
I'll second that.
Vote,
Aye.
aye. All right. Item number 9, discussion of possible action on joint resolution R-2022-01, the joint resolution of the Town Council of Apple Valley, Utah, and the Administrative Control Board of Ash Creek Special Service District requesting annexation of property within the boundaries of Apple Valley into Ash Creek Special Service District. So I've had 2 meetings so far with Ash Creek, and we've talked about this before. I actually put this on, we put this on the agenda for the Big Plains because they are the special service district. But in the last meeting that Andy and Harold and I attended, they said, no, actually, we want this agreement to be between the town and the district, not the special service district and Ash Creek. So it's on tonight's agenda. Now, we discussed it at the Big Plains meeting last month. And at that time, I said we were just tabling it because we were just opening discussions so that we could then go back and have our second meeting with any questions that we had or they had. And so some of the things that they talked about, and they had their board meeting as well, and they talked about adopting this resolution. So some of the things that they would need from us would be that we adopt their rules of operation and construction standards as an ordinance for the town. That we establish a new seat on the Ash Creek Special Service District Board for the Apple Valley Mayor. That we discussed collection fees and discussed temporary variances that would exist for existing homeowners and the role of Big Plains Water and Sewer District. So let's just go through some of those. So we would amend our charter for Big Plains so that Big Plains would become the water district only, and Ash Creek would assume the authority as the body politic for sewer. We of course would adopt their operation and construction standards. They would then review any plans, any proposed subdivision plans for these large underground, these LUD systems. They would also review any plans for individual homeowner systems. And they would issue the building permit. So the contractor, the developer, or the individual homeowner would then go to Ash Creek for the building permit for their sewer system.
Would that include septics also?
Yes, individual homeowners with an individual septic system would still go to Ash Creek for their building permit for their sewer.
Not down to, not downtown anymore.
I think the state still regulates this.
The state still regulates.
Right.
Okay.
Well, they have to get their building permit from Ash Creek.
Right.
Yeah. And then we, the town, would collect the fees. And then we keep 5% of what is billed, and then we would pay them 95% of what is billed. So Jen is looking at me like, oh, yay, one more thing.
I'm thinking
So-
60/40.
So that 5% would cover our expenses, our costs for doing the billing.
I don't know, I'm pretty expensive.
The billing, the fees would be $25 per month for a user of a lead system. So if we have a subdivision and they have this treatment system, this level 3 treatment system, Ash Creek is going to approve the system, oversee the installation, and maintain the system, because they will be the body politic that maintains the system. For them to do that, each resident within that system would pay $25 per month. And then we would collect those fees. Now, they are in the middle of a rate study, and they said that those fees could go up to $27 or $28 a month. The individual homeowner with a septic system is not going to pay that fee, only if you live in a subdivision in which they maintain this level 3 treatment system. However, an individual homeowner who would install a septic system will pay a $400 fee for them to review and approve that septic system. They would require us to, the impact fees for the sewer currently is $2,600. However, they are going up in those fees, and it's going to range between $3,300 and $3,800 per.
Wait, say that again?
The impact fee, so they're gonna have their $25 a month. The impact fee for a lot within a subdivision in which they are maintaining,
So that's attached to the lot.
it's attached to the lot. It's currently $2,600 a month, however, it's going up to between $3,300 and $3,800. I'm not a month, I apologize. The
Thank you.
impact fee.
One time.
$3,300 to $3,800 impact fee. And then they would require that we adopt the 1997 Hanson Allen use study, which does dictate that in Apple Valley, you cannot put an individual septic system on less than 7 acres. However, they have an advanced septic system.
Oh, yeah, you said you could make it 3.5.
An advanced septic system will remove the contaminants, primarily the nitrates, down to 50%. And so then if the homeowner would agree to put an advanced septic system, then they could put an individual septic system on a 3.5 acre lot.
Wonderful. That's great.
So
And that,
For-
and that is for individual
for individual,
builders, individual lots.
Yes.
Only it's
Or
not for
building or
subdivision.
subdivision,
yes.
straight
anything
across
out of
the
the
board.
subdivision.
Yes, okay.
Smaller lots that were subdivided before 2000 can use conventional septic. So we have smaller lots that were subdivided prior to 2000, they can use a conventional because they were subdivided prior to the county adopting the 1997 Hanson Allen Moose study.
Okay, I have a question. I just want to confirm because Andy said something about it, but so if a builder comes in and he wants to have all 3.5 acre lots, he can just put in the septic with the upgraded septic system, or he has to go to the level 3
No.
full blown?
A subdivision will have to have a level 3 treatment regardless. A subdivision. And let's see. We would have an MOU, so we would pass the resolution, which then they would then pass their resolution as well. But then we would have all of this outlined in an MOU. So that everything we just discussed would be in writing for an MOU. What else?
Memorandum of understanding. MOU.
Memorandum of understanding.
Did I miss anything, Andy?
I think you hit all the high spots.
Okay. All right, so we have talked with, we talked about this last month, but we talked with Dale Harris, who is our water superintendent, and he is supportive of this. We understand that with, as Frank mentioned, with over 1,200 homes coming in, mostly within subdivisions, that the need is there for us to have a body politic to oversee the plans, approve plans, oversee construction, and then maintain systems moving forward. And they did assure me that, I do have some more to go over. They did assure us that they're not interested in coming here and putting in lines all over the place. This has nothing to do with existing residents. They do not want to run a line down to Ash Creek and put in this massive system. They
I
understand.
don't want him to run one out to Gooseberry either.
No, this is about moving forward with our growth. However, I will say that, as I mentioned, the system of temporary variances for existing homes on septics, they do have to have something about that. So if you are within 300 feet of one of these level 3 treatment systems. So let's just take Heber Allred's project for an example. He's out there on Main Street. So as you know, if smaller homes start to go in there, individual homes, if they're within 300 feet of that system, and they're on a 7 acre or a 3.5 acre parcel, you know, between 3.5 to 7 acres, they don't have to, you know,
Hook up,
they don't have to hook up.
even though they're within the 300 feet.
All right, they do not have to hook up. Okay, you're right. Let me use
Because I'm
another
splitting
example.
hairs here now.
Yeah,
I'm
I know
gonna-
you're splitting
I'm gonna nail
hairs.
this down.
I know you're nailing this down. So the variances, they're going to issue variances. So if you say you in your home, if you sell your home and you're within 300 feet of a system, then the new owner would have to connect. If you're within 300 feet of a system, and if you're.
And what about if my system goes bad? Can I still replace it again myself?
No, if your septic system fails and you're within 300 feet of
Then you
one of
have to
their,
hook up.
you have to hook up. But remember, if your septic system fails, the cost to replace your septic system is going to exceed this $3,300.
No, I got a lot of young boys at home with shovels. We can Squish that baby.
So.
Get out there.
If you sell your home or if your septic system fails and you're within 300 feet of one of these level 3 treatment systems. And then they did add that after 10 years, if you're within 300 feet, they may require people to connect. But they said that is practically zero.
But they have the option to still enforce that
They have the
policy.
option to still
I don't
enforce
like
it.
that.
If you're within 300 feet. So if you measure your home.
But if they develop out here on the Gooseberry and they start running that down Smithsonian Way, I'm within 300 feet.
So potentially in 10 years, if things, you know, become widespread.
I could be dead by then.
Yes, you could.
So that's not split hair.
Yeah. Their main thing is they want to, what they've said is that these new subdivisions, they are willing to take on the responsibility to oversee them, the installation and the maintenance.
Well,
They're not interested in taking on existing residents as customers. That's not their goal, to take on existing residents.
Can I get that
as
in writing?
customers. They're willing to give that in writing in an MOU.
Standing a good MOU.
Oh, it's an official document, yeah.
Would you say that was?
So,
No, memorandum of.
understanding. So Barrett, you're
I need
in
an
this.
MOU all the
I
time.
need an MOU constantly, yeah.
Well, I do like the idea of having somebody else oversee these systems, because I think they're way outside of anybody's realm of understanding here in town, so I really like that idea.
Can we
But I-
put chatter in the crowd down, please?
When do I get to vote?
Where's that thing? Hit that wooden piece right there. Order in the court.
Judge Judy,
Right.
But I do have, what was that 10-year thing? So within 10 years, they can,
So in 10 years, if you're within 300 feet, so if your
Right.
home sells or if your septic system fails and you're within 300 feet of one of these level 3 treatment systems, you would then be required
yeah,
to,
but within 10 years, if none of those happen, then
within 10 years, they said that, and correct me if I'm wrong, they said they needed to set a date to give them an end date so that if they end up with these systems all over the place, that they have the ability to start connecting the systems.
Oh, together.
But then I wrote down that is practically zero chance now. But if we end up with a lot of these level 3 treatment systems all over the place and they want to start connecting those systems, you might end up within 300 feet
exactly.
of a line.
And I've still got a good septic system, and now I'm being forced to have to connect to their system and pay that big impact fee, and in 10 years, it could be $5,000.
But you have to look at where you live. So in order for this to even come into play, that means you have to have a parcel that could be possibly subdivided within 300 feet of you.
Right, but I'm thinking, you know, other people, myself, not, that
Right.
won't happen because I've got BLM across the road from me, so that's like.
But there are very, very few places that I can think of, maybe out on Main Street, to get out where fishers are, that could grow to them.
Mhm.
But other than that, over here, there's just
Yeah, but within 10 years, that's, I don't know, I'm just having a hard time with the being forced.
If we
To go
grow,
out with their
if
system.
we grow the way that it's anticipated to grow, then within 10 years, Ash Creek might be putting a line up here anyway.
Right,
And we gotta look at it this way, every septic system that's in the ground is potentially harmful to our water system.
right.
And if we don't start connecting and just keep allowing people to put septics in the ground, then we're going to foul our groundwater and we're gonna have less than we have right now.
Right, but that's moving forward, we would have Ash Creek on board with that.
But if we can start gathering up some of those septics that are dumping into potentially, you know, after it filters through the system.
Well, that
potentially-
naturally happens because they fell. They,
Right.
they seem to always fail
Right.
eventually.
I think the big picture part of this thing is we're trying to protect our aquifer.
Oh, I get that
The
part.
big picture part of this, and I think that down the road, I mean, 10 years, if we happen to have a level 3 close to some of the people within this town, I think it would be their duty to be a part of that, to help protect our water in this area. That's me.
Kevin.
I think I forgot my train of thought. Oh, so have they proven that the level 3s are worthy of everything they're saying, or are we just on the cup of? Because some say yes, some say no. We've heard a lot of people talking about it, especially the developers too. So have they come to the conclusion that that is the route that's gonna be the new?
That's a good question, because that was discussed. They're waiting on some results for a system called Aquatech that has been hyped to reduce, you know, these nitrates and so forth very, very well, but they're waiting for those results, those test results. However, you know, as far as they're concerned, they would prefer to do things in phases. Now, most developers want to do things in phases. They don't want to go in and put in 250 homes all at once. And so they want to do things in phases. So Ash Creek said that it would be their preference, because we need to see how these level 3 treatment systems do, that by doing things in phases, they can then monitor and say, okay, yes, this treatment system is doing the job that we want it to do. And then they would move on to the next phase and the next phase. But that typically coincides with how a developer wants to develop a project anyway.
Okay, I got one more question. So if a developer comes in, he puts in 50 homes, we put that system up. Is he putting in a system for the whole, it's gonna do to who? The 250 homes? Or is
Guess
that?
what, Kevin? That's not our job. Because at that point,
Fine.
it's Ash Creek, and it's Ash Creek's job to work with the developer, to work with the engineers, to size the system appropriately. And then they monitor it to make sure it's doing its job. And then they maintain it moving forward. That's why, in my opinion, I agree with Andy on many levels. In my opinion, this is a no-brainer for us, because with what is coming to Apple Valley, we need experts that this is what they do. And they're going to maintain it at the way it needs to be maintained. If we can bring in these experts, I think it's a no-brainer. for me.
And just to add to what the mayor said, that ultimately, these systems connected together will allow us, if they're properly filtered and come out the way they say they're gonna be, it's gonna allow us with a secondary water system, which will take the load off of our culinary.
Yes.
I'll stop arguing.
Yeah.
One more just quick thing.
Mhm.
My poor buddy down at my working page, he has a septic truck, and on the back of it says, yesterday's meals on today's wheels. What's he gonna do?
There's plenty of septic systems.
All right, are there
All
any
right.
other questions?
No, I'm good.
He can answer the whole question.
All right, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Um,
Call him next time then.
So I'll make a motion that we accept resolution BPW R 2022 01, the joint resolution of the Town Council of Apple Valley, Utah, and Administrative Control Board of Ash Creek Special Service District requesting annexation of property within the boundaries of Apple Valley into Ash Creek Special Services District.
We have a second
A second.
vote?
Aye,
Aye.
grudgingly.
Aye. All right, so, reports, recommendations, and announcements. Did you hang out through the whole thing? Would you please come up, Debbie Kopp, for our,
We'll switch that next week. We'll put that at the top next time.
Let's take
That's
a list.
okay. Okay, so April 16th, we're gonna have the Easter egg hunt. We're not sure of the time yet, so this will be our first event getting back into all the community activities. Chief is gonna have, fire department's gonna have the chili cook-off, I think, April 23rd. For the Easter egg hunt, we're gonna have a flyer made. Margie's working on that now. We're not sure of the time. We're gonna have the Easter egg hunt. We're gonna have the cotton candy machine, popcorn machine, bounce house out, and just try and get a little fun back in.
you know, that sounds great.
And that's April 16th, probably about 11 a.m. I don't want to make it late because that's also the day of the Hurricane Easter Car Show. So we want to give people opportunity to get to both.
Perfect,
Sure you
thank
want to do it that way?
Well, it gets kind of chilly in the morning and dew is still on the grass to be picking up Easter eggs.
It's April.
Yeah.
It'll be
It's-
warm by then.
Well, we can change the time.
All right,
It's up for debate.
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
And I'm gonna email you a couple things that we need to order, so we have for the event.
Okay,
Thanks for
perfect,
your work.
thank you.
Debbie, thanks, Debbie.
So Fire Chief Zoll, today's his father's birthday, so he went to be with him. Do you have anything?
Yeah, just real quickly, since I'm the liaison of the fire department, I have a whole list, it's like 3 pages long, but we're gonna cancel all that. Let me just throw 2 things out there real quick. Please take the time to build some defensible space around your properties. I can't stress enough, if you want to be scared to death, go online, look at the fire that happened up in California in Paradise. The mess that was, you will put defensible space in. The second thing is you're allowed to gather 2,500 gallons worth of water in the state of Utah. You can get a tank and you can actually collect that off your roof. So with that said, we do live in the desert. If you have even some possibility of saving your own property, that would be the first line of defense till the fire department gets there. So please do that and get some water storage on your property if you can. And last but not least, I've said in the past, there's like 3 major things in our life. You know, you can only live without air for 3 minutes. You can only live without water for like 3 days and 3 months without food. So get some water storage in your house, get some bottled water while it's still available. That's it. I'll have more next.
All right, so, and you're also our code enforcer.
Yes, love code enforcement, my favorite part of the job, not. Actually, it's been relatively slow in code enforcement. We've had a few real shiners that we've had to deal with, and I've upset a few people along the way, but it is what it is. It's a horrible job. Is someone out there, just raise your hand. Just one person, raise your hand. Anybody, photo takers. You guys are starting to know me all too well. Just looking for a volunteer for code enforcement, but no takers. Okay. Other than that, we're just moving forward. We have implemented, first contact, second contact, third contact. The first contact would just be my smiling face showing up on your doorstep going, bro, this is not cool. We got to change what we're doing. And the second one will be a red tag. So it's not like we're trying to run around red tagging everybody. It will always be the courtesy of, we are neighbors and friends and family. So let's approach it that way. So that's my take on the code enforcement.
All right, thank you. Do we have a request for a closed session? Yes,
Yes,
Yes, we do.
you make a motion for a closed session.
I make a motion that we have a closed session.
Do we have a second?
Uh,
Vote
yeah, I
aye.
guess.
You have the second? Thanks, dude.
All right.
Aye.
We find out, before Mulder left, we find out.
Okay, let's close the closed
Yeah, I think they do it. David, right?
Right now. So she's got one place to stay. Travel-wise, Oh, yeah. I've heard of
And he was over that crap, and he was to say he wasn't down.
There you go. There you go. And now we're going.
Yeah, no problem. It was the right thing to do. I like win-wins. We need that. Oh, really? Oh, really? That's cool.
Don't be seeing the helicopter flying over here.
Over my house, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna point out that way there. I'm gonna say, look at that Kermit gutter going in down there.
Yeah, that's right. That's
So.
There are those guys around. Yeah, I saw them, I guess it was there.
If you ever get a
Right, yeah, well, that's.
Right here. Brent.
I guess he's still. Are they on the hillside? It's really a little hard to tell. A lot of trees. Between me and so I guess the equipment has to be higher on the hill. Well, the next time I see that was his scorecard. Well, then this afternoon. I can only see I can't really see that. You know, the hills between the and you and this would be the east part of the property. I don't know if you've been up there. So next time I see something, it's like they're on hill, maybe
I went in there.
Somewhere along.
So you'll be talking like an auctioneer then?
As fast as I can. Get on our list as soon as
I know.
This closes maybe.
All right, so, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion. I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second?
Everybody?
I'm not done.
What? Hold on, I'm gonna go here. On this Thursday, February 17th of 2022.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Aye.
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 Hurry up. Oh, somebody in there, how rude.
There are trees out.
That's true.
The world is a toilet, remember that?
Just think around your water.
So.
Okay, gotta move to the water system now. Is everybody good? No. Are we asking Harold and Ross to come up?
Ready to go now? You need one?
Come up closer, you two guys. Come on up.
We'll fix that. I don't have, sorry. Yeah, it's so good.
Well. Keep it going.
Run in the rebels.
After bedtime, but yeah, I'm not sure how excited I am.
Bring in the rebels.
Yes.
Included that stuff.
Although it's
District engineer and whatever.
I'm gonna go sit down and let. Robin, how about you guys sit down and let- Jeff, we're going to places with you, if you guys can go up there, please. Go on.
Hey, Ross.
That sounds like home. Right? Yeah, get, go.
We got a tall chair for you, Ross. That one in the middle. That's the tall one.
Let's get off of my chair. Nah, that's a good help with anybody wanting one of those. You want one of those?
Thanks.
All right. We'll call this water board meeting to order. First order of business, we'll do the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First order of business, approval of the minutes from our last meeting.
Just to clarify, there's some minutes there. for-
Oh, thank you, because I'm saying that.
They would be like right underneath. I will have those next week.
Okay, so
Roger that.
should we just table?
We'll table approving the minutes from our last meeting till our next meeting.
I'll second that.
Vote.
Aye.
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 Right.
We'll table the financial report as well.
I'll second that motion.
The vote.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Right.
What do we got? 7 now? 7 ayes, 0 nays.
For the moment, yeah.
All right. Next order of business, water superintendent report, Dale.
There's nothing going on for it.
All four will.
We don't know better than that. The most important thing I got to report is that Rod and I are actively got somebody building us treatment for well 59. My hope is that we're gonna have that on within the next 45 days. We're gonna do an RO. There'll be a filter press before that RO. We're gonna have to build a little settling pond for the backwashing that'll happen for the filters. We'll do a mix of 80% RO water and 20% well water, so everybody gets their minerals, so nobody's bones fall off their skin, from under their skin. That's the biggest thing. The other thing is we are coming into summer. Need people to be very cautious of the water that they're using. We're not getting a lot of rain. Aquifers aren't charging as quick as we would like them to be charging. So I need folks to be water conscious this summer. Other than that, we're probably 2 to 3 weeks out of PCI finally getting up into Canaan after the distractions we have had during last year, that we'll be able to finish that project, which is going to alleviate some of the IPS points that we have on for that Canaan system, mostly cross connections, because we have a lot of cattle cross connections that happen on Webb's property, and those will all be taken care of. Andy and I discussed today, we're going to look at getting that well 1 back in operation as far as the automation, and that'll automate the second well over here, so that we can be fully automated with both of those wells where we've only been with one. We need those operating that way. It's really critical for the firefighting, because a lot of the hydrants are pump on situations for our firefighting in town. I went with Junior today to test a couple of hydrants. Made a big difference when the pumps were actually on for the flow in the hydrants. We knew that. Harold knows that, he's the only board member. Well, you were here too. That, we did have pump on situations in part of our system when we upgraded the system in Apple Valley. Both wells over here are doing fantastic. Canaan is still producing the same amount of water that it's been producing since none of us were even here or born yet, still doing fantastic. I do suggest, that going forward, I'd like to say this publicly because the Canaan line has been kind of billed as this holy savior for what's going to happen in Cedar Point for our water. We need to be producing a minimum of 146 gallons a minute for the homes that we currently have in in Cedar Point that we currently have. I want to stress that we currently have. So best case scenario with the Cook well, with bringing 59 on and bringing the Canaan water on, we're going to be about 145 gallons a minute. So as you folks can see, it still doesn't lift anything for building over in Cedar Point until we actually start going after some more sources, because we're still going to be a gallon a minute under what we are regulated by the state of what our bare minimum flow has to be. And I want to stress that that's the bare minimum that we need to be producing. So there is no, 6 months, all of a sudden building gets just to start flying in Cedar Point for water. We are undersourced in Cedar Point, period. And we can't have any more building going on over there. We get 59 going because it does not look like that we're going to be starting on that Canaan line and probably till late summer, early fall. So that's going to give me a total of 85 gallons a minute. There's going to be a clinch factor with that, but I'm confident that we can get through the summer if we can have a conservation program in place for conserving our water through the whole town, not just Cedar Point. The aquifer is the aquifer. So we just need to be really proactive in the water that we're using. Other than that, don't got a whole lot going on. We got a moratorium, so I don't have any meters that I've been sticking in or doing anything like that. I did find today when I was out with Junior that 2 of the hydrants that we had tested, the valves were cut almost all the way off. They were valved almost, they were pinched. We're talking only open like a turn, 2 turns. Both of those hydrants are hydrants that we've allowed people to take water out of. So my suspicion is that somebody didn't have the right, didn't have our meter and needed some way to throttle that to go into their truck. And anybody that's worked with a dry barrel hydrant, that is not a throttle valve on a hydrant. That is either wide open or it's closed.
It'll ruin the hydrant.
It'll ruin the hydrant. So somebody has got into that and actually valved that back for a lower flow out of those 2 hydrants.
So we need to somehow squash that.
Yeah, just my number is on the water bills. Anybody, even if you don't think that something's going on, but something just looks a little suspicious of what's going on with water, please call me. Just please call me so I can investigate of what's going on, because somebody stuck a key in these cans and actually turned those valves back.
And we're going to implement no water at all comes out of the hydrants in Cedar Point.
Correct.
And they're supposed to start that.
We talked at the end of this month is what we were gonna.
Okay.
Yep.
So we want to send that out. to
there
all the
will-
citizens,
yep,
let them
there
know
will be
that's a no-no because they're taking your drinking water.
Exactly. There will be no bulk water being used in Cedar Point at all this summer.
Now, Dale, on 59, and if you get this RO, are you're gonna move back up in the production then, what we used to have?
Yes, but I'm still in that spot. To explain that is that I'm in that area before I had these problems with the manganese and the radium, that I was down to around 50 gallons a minute. If I try to get up any higher than that, I pull air and it just turns everything like 2% milk. I mean, it just takes off. So who knows, maybe because we're going to be down on that for, we'll be off of well 59 by the time we get it up and running. That'll be a total of like 4 or 5 months. Maybe we got some recharging. But when we took off with that, is especially you two know, we test pumped that thing at 108 gallons a minute. we were able to put it into the system at 85 gallons a minute, and then it just slowly started this. If I'm around 50 gallons a minute, something changed in the aquifer, which of course didn't allow me to do that. So when I was hanging around 50 to 55 gallons a minute, I wasn't pulling the iron algae and I wasn't pulling air. The iron algae started just kicking my butt. So I had to start cutting that gallonage back further and further and further until I wasn't getting that iron algae. I was down to 22 gallons a minute and it was coming out like Kevin's shirt. It was coming out so red. And of course, my phone was blowing up every day, and rightfully so. People are getting stinky water out of their faucets. So I'm hoping that this is going to clear it up. But I am not. I'm hopeful for more than 50 gallons a minute, but I'm counting on only 50. Anything above that will be a bonus.
Dale, shift gears a little bit. Wow. The Canaan project is unfolding. Do we need to get back on those storage tanks? Remember, we had a 30-inch gasket we couldn't find on the planet?
Yes, we just need to.
Are we gonna be doing that, or is PCI, are we gonna? farm
No,
that?
I just need to fill that. I've already done all of the VOC that we did on that. Just need to fill it and flush it.
Okay, how
And
about the ladder?
get
on
the
that?
gasket and fill it and flush it.
Do we need a ladder on that one tank? The cage
Oh, yes, we do. Yeah, we do.
and the walking rails are on top?
Yep, exactly. Yep.
I think we got all the rest of it, the vents and that sort of stuff.
Yep, all of that's taken care of. That's the only thing that's left on that is that 10,000 gallons under of what we need for storage.
Okay,
No, I just got a quick question. Other than doing the automation, is there anything else that you need? Is there anything else this council can help you with moving forward?
Well, don't we need to do that project up at Canaan on the Springs, that spring area to clean that? Isn't that still an issue?
oh, that's the second springs that weren't rehabbed.
Oh, the grubbing, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, we still need to do that. But
Pull some trees out, Kevin.
Nice.
my understanding is
They
that
just passed an ordinance.
No grubbing.
no grubbing. When
Wait a
people-
minute, I think we have a permit for that area already.
Call the state.
Well, we're actually out of town boundaries and wilderness, so. Yeah, PCI, the way that we spoke with that before they came out of there is they were gonna go over there and do that.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's part of phase one, right?
Did,
Say that again.
Is part of phase one project, phase one project?
Exactly. I'm following you. I went to building when you said that. Sorry.
did we ever decide on the type of fence, that'd be chain link or stock fence or what?
What Paul said to me is that we could put the stock fencing, because we don't have a lot of traffic up there. But we actually have, the last 6 months, we've got a lot of traffic. We got a lot of trespassers coming across Webb's. In the last 4 months, I've ran 9 people out of that property.
So you're suggesting chain link and wire?
I just don't think that we should cut a corner on that. We're
Yeah,
growing.
it's out in the middle of nowhere.
That kid went up and created a route on that, and I'm sure that it's on the internet now. And we've got climbers that are going right past that lower spring weekly now. There's a trail that goes up through Webb's property now. He sent me a text today that a whole bunch of, they had a trailer that had all the windows broken out, had tires that were sliced, from people that have been walking in his property. So he's dealing with, and he's saying that the sheriff isn't helping him out. I don't understand that. Somebody came onto my property. I can trespass that person off my property, but Kurt's saying that he's had the sheriffs out there and they can't do anything for him. So I don't follow how that works, but
Well, there's a lot, yeah, that's kind of a deal. Anyway, I'm just trying to get a list here that board members, and maybe a few volunteers can get together and piecemeal some of this stuff, like maybe
Yeah.
the gasket I spent.
like the old days. I'm
Like the old
down with
days.
that. Yes.
I know. Do you have any idea what it's like for me to be sitting up under the board with those two giants over there again? I mean, it's
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
Yeah. So you asked me a question of what you could do. In all seriousness, a valve exerciser would be really great addition for the SSD. We don't have a valve exercising program. So like these valves that were cracked back, if I had a program that I could have in place and have a valve exerciser, had one in Springdale, just hook it up to the bumper of the truck, it goes right on the receiver. You carry a generator, it exercises the valve up, exercises the valve down. So I can take my system, all three of these systems, and cut them into quarterly valve exercising programs to be able to go and exercise those. That exercise will also come with the thing that will actually clean those cans out, because we have a lot of the cans that are still in dirt, and they're filled up, and we need to have those cans ready to go if I've got a problem. The other thing is we still have 60% of my valves over on this side of the system are still under that chip seal.
You writing this down?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that
Secretary.
we need to figure that out. We need to get that figured out.
Yeah.
And most
That's gonna bite
important,
us in the butt when he's.
yeah, I'm gonna have a water leak and it's gonna take me 20 minutes to dig up a can and do all of that. So, yeah.
And there's one other thing you're forgetting that I really want you to get, because I'm tired of trying to hang on to the other end of those wrenches when you're tightening.
I need two
You need a
vices.
vise.
I need two vices and a tailgate and
Yeah.
a solid tailgate.
I
So,
can't even hang on to that sucker
Yeah.
when you're torquing it down.
yeah. Yeah, it looks like a monkey doing something to a football when I'm doing that.
Well, we appreciate all you do, Dale. I just want you to know that.
That's all I got. Has anybody got any more questions?
I'm good. Anybody else?
I was just gonna, I understand that soft start on AB1 is giving us some problems.
Yeah, that's what,
Isn't that what you guys were talking about?
yeah, that's what Andy and I were talking about today, that we've already got that priced out. Just need to actually get it put in.
Find some money, huh?
Yeah, Andy's checking his pockets, and
Okay.
I've already asked Lloyd to get the stuff coming. He didn't call me today, so I'm hoping he'll call me tomorrow and give me a time frame of when he can actually come up and put that in. And that'll finally give us our communication in between both of the wells, so that they will both turn on. We need both of those to turn on. If the fire department has a fire, both of those wells need to be on for them to properly fight a fire. So it's a huge safety issue. It's just not levels in a tank for me. It's a safety issue also.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thanks, Bill.
Good.
Thanks, buddy.
You bet. All right. Number one, discussion possible action amending section 1.4.1 through 1.4.6 of the policy and procedures. Basically, this is an update, putting more of the onus on development projects as far as the engineering and stuff onto our developers. This was heavy, originally heavy on our side, our district engineer side, to do a bunch of things that ought to be part of the developer's process. So we've updated 1.4.1 through 1.4.6. To represent the jobs we're putting back on the contractors. We have any discussion? Concerns, comments?
So Andy,
Yes.
in 1.4.1.1, the developer will meet with the water superintendent to discuss available services. So if none are available options, so this would be like what we were talking about earlier, where the first step is to meet with the water superintendent.
Correct.
And then once he's satisfied, that there's a workable plan, then that's when they would come before the district?
Correct, yeah, we meet as a preliminary board, probably Dale, I, maybe a couple board members, just so we can look over their project, their prospective project. If it passes that group, then we will ask them for any further requirements at that point, and then have them bring it in front of the council or the district board.
And does it state in here, I apologize, does it state in here that then the next step is that they would go before the board?
I don't think that we have that part in there, no. We can update that to reflect that.
And then 1.4.2 is where they can use their engineer and just have it reviewed by the district, right? That's good.
And that on 1.4.2.3, it says it will be reviewed by the district engineer and district staff. If that was changed to water board, that'd cover that.
Where are you at again, Harold? Sorry.
1.4.2.3.
Okay. District engineer.
And
approved.
the district board, right?
Yeah, instead of or.
Yeah, and district
And
board.
And the water board.
The developer will provide a set of the final completed master construction plans for a final review and approval.
And approved.
Review and approval.
District engineer and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it says in 1.4.2.4, if plans are approved, the district representative will sign off on the master set of construction plans. Who is the representative that's going to be authorized to do this?
I'm assuming it was Dell.
I already have the authorization from the board to do that.
Okay, but I think that language is too vague. The district representative,
I think that it should say superintendent.
district superintendent. Does everybody agree with that?
Sure.
Have you read through this, Dale?
What's that?
Any other updates at all?
Andy gave me a copy of today of what was, yeah.
Did you get a chance to read through it? Is there anything that you might have been concerned about?
Kevin, can I ask you a quick question on that moratorium? If it runs to 6 months, what happens at the end of the 6 months? Can that be continued or is that the end of the moratorium?
We're not open for
We're not
public
open.
comment.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, my bad.
You can certainly ask after the meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. It is.
So I entertain a motion for those changes and or
I'll make a motion. I make a motion that we amend section 1.41 through 1.4.6 of policy and procedures with the changes in 1.4.2.3. We'll now read: the developer will provide a set of the final completed master construction plans for a final review and approval by the district engineer and the district board. And then 1.4.2.4, if plans are approved, the district superintendent will sign off on the master set of construction plans.
And do you want to add a line item to reflect the next step after the preliminary to the district board? the
Oh.
District one?
Thank you. Was that in 1.4.1.1?
Correct.
The developer will meet with the water superintendent to discuss available services. If none are available, options to obtain services will be discussed. The developer will then submit an application to appear before the water district board.
Do I have a second?
I second.
A motion is second. Then show the vote, please.
Mason.
Yes.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
7-9.
This will make my life
Passes.
way easier.
Yeah.
All right. Next item, number 2, discussion and possible action and accepting town's joint resolution with Ash Creek Special Service District, assuming administration and control of the wastewater sewer services for the town of Apple Valley. Everybody was here for that resolution. Basically, what we're saying is we're willing to support that resolution, and we will do the paperwork once that resolution is completed and we are on board with them to remove the district off of the sewer part. We will be the water district only.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the town's joint resolution with Ash Creek SSD, assuming administration and control of wastewater / sewer services for the town of Apple Valley.
I second.
I,
Aye.
Fine.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays. Item number 3, discussion possible action accepting Roosh and Reeve updated fee agreement for legal service to the district.
Holy crap, I need to be an attorney.
So, in my discussion with Ben in the last week or so, he informed me that there hadn't been an update to their fee agreement and that they had raised their rates since our last fee agreement. So what we're doing here is basically agreeing to his new rates, and currently we still have a agreement with him to be our lawyer for the district. He just wanted to make sure that we knew what we were getting into when we started utilizing his time. Any discussion?
so this is just the fee rate update, the rate fee update. However, we do not have a contract that stipulates that we will only use their services. Okay,
What did it raise, what did he raise it from?
$160 an hour for him.
Well,
wow.
he's more experienced now,
That's actually cheap.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 160.
No, it's not.
Well, I didn't say it's not a lot of money.
Any discussion on this?
Hopefully we don't have to use them too often.
I'll entertain a motion to accept this, please.
Don't we have a fee?
I would make a motion to accept,
I'm not sure. I apologize. May I ask a quick question? So in our policies, is there something where the developer pays for attorney fees?
Engineer and attorney fees if needed. Because we could be in a position where we need development agreement as well, and that would be the attorney. So we should have a clause that says any fees incurred to get your project approved
Needs to be paid by the
needs to be
developer.
paid by the developer.
We
I'm adding that
do
on.
not currently have that in our.
Then I'll
policies.
recommend we're working on, because I'm working on the town side
Okay.
of doing the same thing.
I'll get with you about that, Frank.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, did we have a motion on the table? We did have.
Sort
I think
of.
it's-
Would you
You
restate
were
your
halfway
motion,
there.
please, sir?
State that,
You were halfway there.
Finish it up for me.
Go for it. I want to hear this.
I make a motion that we have Ben Roosh as the water district attorney, and that we review, as part of this, review his agreement with us as it relates to developers and other activities outside of direct services for the service district itself.
And agree to his updated fees.
And agree to his updated fees.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Vote?
Yes, I.
Aye.
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 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion passes. Item number 4, application from Mike Farrar to appear before the board for 8 homes.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're here.
Mr. Farrar.
They stayed for the whole thing.
Wow, sorry about that.
No worries, it's an experience.
Well, we hope you learned a lot. We
I
have.
did, I learned a lot.
Well, first of all, Mr. Farrar, we're indeed grateful for you sticking around to our long meeting, and also we're grateful for your willingness to work with the water district in the town in your project. Ultimately, this was a step that was missed in your progress through our town, and you have thus showed up in front of us, so we can mark that X off. We are indeed grateful, again, for your willingness to follow our proper channels and rules, and we thank you for that. We hope that others in the area will take note and try to do the same thing.
We appreciate all
thank
you guys' hard work. That's why I said it's a learning experience for me tonight. You guys all are putting in a lot of work. I never knew. This is a very small town, the amount of work that you guys are having to put in. We really appreciate it as a family. We're really excited to get up here and try to volunteer and help you guys out.
Awesome. Well, we gladly you.
We just want you to know, we just want you to know you're gonna have to buy about 5,000 or 6,000 foot of garden hose. We're gonna have to plug you into the well, the towers over here. Yeah.
We did have that was recorded though, by the way, that volunteer.
Yeah, we got that on
It's on audio.
Code enforcer.
We held against you there.
We need a code enforcer. You're a big fella.
I'm open. Give me a couple more, probably 3 more months, we'll be up here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you again, sir.
No problem. Thank you.
Rod's not here, so Zero Engineering. Did you have something to say to the board? I'm sorry.
No, sir, no. I know the water problems that are going on. I'm getting way aware of them. I've told my contractor, we're no pools, no landscaping. We are underwater concert. We're from Southern California. We're no strangers to
You're already
conserving
in
water.
that boat.
And we're totally on board with that until the situation is straightened out, and no,
Awesome.
we totally get it.
We need more people like you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we need to approve their application? Vote as a board?
Do we? I don't know.
We should, it'll make
I
them feel
think we
way better.
should.
Okay. Oh, there is actually one here.
Yes.
Would you mind wording that for us?
Okay, so, I make a motion that we approve the application submitted by Mike Farrar for the 8 homes located in and around the 14620 South Highland. Oh, thank you.
Right.
Let's see.
He's
Do we
trying to
have
send it back
parcels?
to California.
Oh, thank you. I apologize. Thank you. So I make a motion that we approve the application submitted by Mike Farrar for the parcels. Is it 21-035, 21-036, 21-037, 21-0?
Those are permit.
Those are building permit numbers.
All right, somebody else do this.
Oh, great. Yeah, okay. Let's make it simple.
The addresses?
Yeah, we got addresses. You can give me
Yeah, there we
addresses.
go.
You got addresses?
Yeah, tell them.
They're right
Oh,
there.
okay.
1890.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the application for Mike Barr and his family for first lot, 1890 South Mountain Drive, Apple Valley. Second lot, 890 East Mountain Drive in Apple Valley. Third lot, 980 East Mountain Drive in Apple Valley. Fourth, 870 East Mountain Drive in Apple Valley. Fifth, 930 East Mountain Drive in Apple Valley. Sixth is 940 East Mountain Drive in Apple Valley. Seventh is 900 East Mountain Drive in Apple Valley. And the last but not least is 960 in East Mountain Drive Valley. Before we take a vote on it, I just have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Are they paid up in full, Jenna? Have we collected all that California money?
And then some.
There you go. All right. Do I have a second?
A second.
A motion and a second. Can we have a vote?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
7 ayes, 0
Welcome
nays.
to Apple Valley.
Motion passes.
We're looking forward. And don't
Remember,
worry,
each home gets a 2,500 gallon tank if you want to invest in it.
we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. I'm willing to do it. We, and just to let you guys know, we have loved the way the town is. We are not the California people that are bringing our politics or any of the stuff back with us. We're
Nice.
fleeing. We are fleeing.
That's what we know. We have plenty of our own politics. So we don't need to have it.
I've been running into a little bit, but it's okay. It's much better than dealing with that down there.
Nice.
All right,
Yes.
policies and procedures, do we need anything there? I don't have anything scheduled for that whatsoever. Request for closed session, do we have a reason to go to closed session? Anybody? No reason to go to closed session, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
Aye.
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 This meeting is adjourned.
Nice.
I gotta